Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we are looking at Bitcoin Cash. We've done a macro video, which you can find above, so check that out if that is more what you're interested in. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. Okay, so primarily I'm still looking for the potential that we've actually had a fourth wave here, and we're looking to break down from this point. Now, the way that I'm looking at this is in two ways, that we could either be looking to form this as a diagonal pattern here, in which case what I'm looking for is this is a 1, this is a 2. I'm treating this as an A wave, and then I'm looking for this B wave to the upside. Now, the B wave that I'm looking for is potentially up here towards this 120.3 to this 128.66. Now, if we do see a 3-wave move to the upside where this becomes A, this becomes B, and we see 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for a C wave, I would be paying a lot of attention to this 0.618 area, which is sitting at this 123.68. If we see a move up into this in a 3-wave move, this could tie into the idea of our B wave, and then we'd be looking for that possibility of seeing another 5-wave move to the downside. Now, the key thing here is I'd be looking for this 1-to-1 off of that 0.618, which would be this 97.75. If we do look to push down below this, we cannot cross this 93.05 for this to be considered a diagonal pattern. Then what we'd be looking for would be an additional 3-wave move to the upside, followed by this 5-wave move down, or 3-wave move down for this 5th wave towards this zone of this 93.59 to this 92.62. Now, what we would want to see here is what happens after this. If this is a diagonal and it's completed the 5th wave, we should expect a big move to the upside that actually comes and takes this high of this 154.21. If it is not, we need to be cautious of the idea that we could actually see this be breaking down, and actually that diagonal pattern forms the wave 1 of a bigger move. So if I overlay this, we would be then arguing that this is wave 1, we get a bigger wave 2 to the upside, and face rejection below this 138.56. So a common zone would be this 138.56 to this 120.12. Now, if we did face rejection off of that, what we could actually see is either this become a B wave and a C wave if we get a 1-to-1 move towards a 77.18, or alternatively a bigger 3rd wave to the downside could mean that we actually see this 1.618 get hit, which would be this 54.69, which would tie into a bigger move to the downside. Now, we could also argue that rather we had this as a triangle in here, in which case we are looking to either still be in this triangle, or we could actually start to reject directly. So what we'd be looking for if we're still within the triangles, we'd be treating this as A, B, and then potentially looking for this as a C wave down here. Now, the way I'd be looking at this is actually be more complex, where we'd be looking for an A, B, and a C. So looking at this effectively as a double zigzag. And then what we'd be looking for here is that effectively we'd get a push to the upside here, looking for that rejection, and then a C wave down, where this becomes A, B, and C. So the target I'd be looking for this would be this 104.13 to this 102.04. If, however, we do just start to move directly up here in a 3-wave move, A, B, and C, and look to actually come back into this top trend line here, it could mean that this D wave has already completed in this green box area, and that this has actually just been A, B, and C like this, and then we're looking for this E wave to play out to the upside here. Now, what I'd be looking for here is for this to maintain below this 154.30. Sometimes the E wave, when we get a break of this trend line, can actually wick through this, but what we want to see is a reaction off the back of it. You know, if we move up past the C wave and consolidate, then it becomes more likely that we are not in a actual triangle here. So need to just be aware of that. The other way we can look at it is that we're actually starting to break down directly. That would be looking at something like this. So if we're looking at that possibility of this being A, B, and C, what we're looking for is this 99.04 based off of coming back up into this golden pocket area between this 124.31 to this 125.25. Now, if we do get something like this, we would just be looking at A, B, and C, and then that would look for that D wave potential. If, however, we get a bigger break to the downside where we push down towards this 85.66, this would indicate that we've had the triangle complete and we're actually looking for the 5th wave directly. So if we move down to 85.66, we'd be looking for a 4th and a 5th. This would actually look to bring us into this 82.57 to the 78.06. And then this would actually mean that we have a completed move here to the downside. So this then I would be treating as this yellow fifth wave here, which would be looking to actually target out this zone of this 84.96 to this 70.67. Now, if we do complete here, we need to be cautious. Any kind of a move to the upside in 3 waves, I would be looking for this additional fourth. It is my primary expectation that we're going to get this fourth wave again, but then what we need to see is this actually find resistance between this 232 to this 126.5. Now, if we do face rejection within this zone again, we could actually look for an additional fifth wave, which would look to bring us down here to the 60.15 to this 43.07. So that's what we need to keep an eye on here, that if we fail to actually break substantially above this fourth wave here, I would be looking for that potential of continuation. Now, we did also discuss in the macro video the possibility that we could see a break to the upside here. Now, what we'd be looking for within this is we'd be effectively treating this move as a wave 1. If this is the case, then we'd be looking at this as the potential of a B or W, an X, and a Y for this wave 2. Now, what we'd be looking for here is the same idea. This is A, this is B, this is C, except what we'd want to see off of the back of this is we'd want to see a nice strong 5-wave move to the upside, looking to target out this $264 region for a bigger third wave here, and then we'd be looking for the possibility of continuation, in which case we would see this potentially move up towards this 334 to this 29274 region. So this would be treating this as a potential 5-wave breakout. Now, we could also argue that within this we have this as 1212, and then we're looking to break up directly from this point, but we'd only get confirmation of this by a bigger push up towards this zone here of this 158.65. Now, we would have to see an extension in here, because if we just moved into this 1.618 area of this 137, this would not give us enough strength to get up into this secondary third wave target we need here at this 16959. So until we actually break up into that zone, we'd need to be cautious, because if we just get this as ABC, that ties into that idea of actually seeing, you know, continuation to the downside. So just need to be careful that if we fail to actually push up impulsively, we could still be looking for those lower prices to come in. Looking at this as a local range here, what I'm just being mindful of is that we are currently sitting below this point of control. If we do continue to move down here, what we could actually see is a retest of this value area low that we have here. We do have some high volume spikes here towards this 104.69 and this area here of this 101.88, where we could potentially see support come in if we do move down here. So I would be keeping an eye on those areas. As well as that, if we did have to move back to the upside here, I would be keeping aware that we could actually face a rejection of this value area high. As well as that, if we do move up slightly higher here at this 133.90, what we could actually see is a rejection off of this higher volume node that we've got here. So need to just be cautious of that potential. If we have a look at the Ichimoku cloud here on the daily, we can also see here that we are starting to get a bit of a build up above us. Now, if we did move up into this, this would tie into that idea of this actually being A, B, and a C, in which case we could actually face rejection off of this baseline here, which would be this 121.81, or alternatively off of the cloud itself, which would be up slightly higher up towards 123.28. If we do see price move up into this, we could actually face that rejection and still look for that continuation down. So we need to just be cautious that we do still have some potential resistance above us. The value area high is also sitting in line with this, so this would be quite an interesting area to keep an eye on if we do actually move up towards that $130 region. Looking at the monthly CPR, we are currently battling our way through the central lines here. Now, if we do actually manage to get through these, what we could actually see is the potential to see a move up towards this 122 as a S1 line, this 131 as a S2 line, and this S3 line here, this 138. If we do see price action starting to break through this and maintaining above these CPR lines, we have the potential to test some of these zones out. If, however, we start to reject and move to the downside, this R1 line is sitting at this 105.72. We have this R2 line at this 98.47, and this R3 line down here towards this 89.37 range. Now, I would be keeping an eye on these. Obviously, if this all depends on how we react to these central lines here. If we do start to move above it, then we do have that potential to actually come back and attempt to retest these areas. Now, if we look at this on the weekly, what we can see here is that once again we are starting to move through these lines. Now, we are almost at the top line here, if we face rejection off of this, we could actually look to potentially continue down. However, if we do start to push up and find support above it, we could actually look to retest the S1 line here at this 119.24, S2 at this 121.90, and this S3 is sitting up here higher towards the zone of this 126.76. So I would be keeping an eye on these areas if we do move up. Now, once again, for the downside target, what we could actually see is this 111.73, this R2 at this 106.93, and this R3 at this 104.23. Now, this would be looking at the potential of a breakdown here, looking for some possible zones of confluence lower down here with our count. Now, if we do see price action move through this, we only really have these valid for until Sunday evening to reset. So need to just bear in mind that next week we will have new CPRs printed here. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link for the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.